הבאנו שלום, שלום, שלום עליכם. הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום, שלום, שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום, שלום, שלום עליכם.
It's known as the Rambam Award. Now, Rambam, of course, is Maimonides, and Maimonides was an individual who was both a medical doctor and, of course, a Jewish scholar, and who worked hard at both of them. And I think the opportunity here is to honor you not only for the work that you, and I would say Nancy as well, do in your professions, but also on behalf of this community, but also the recognition that in growing in knowledge and commitment that you have a great deal to offer all of us. And so I'm pleased on behalf of the Board of Jewish Education to recognize you with the Rambam Award to Richard Becker on November the 2nd, 2014 from the Board of Jewish Education. I pray that this may serve to you as an ongoing part of your journey for greater commitment, knowledge, involvement. Mazal tov.
Thank you for your very kind words, Vernon, and many, many thanks to the Board of Jewish Education for this award. I also want to thank my friends from camera and Stand With Us for the vital work that they do. Thanks also to those who helped me with my blog. This is part of the speech where I was going to say, I'm really humbled by this award, but when my wife edited it, she struck that out. She said, really, Richard, that doesn't fit. So, okay, so I had to point that out. Gratitude and love to my family for their support, especially my amazing wife, Nancy. And I dedicate this award to the memory of my parents, Miriam and Arthur Becker, who taught by example the value of standing up for your beliefs. I've loved Israel ever since my first visit with my confirmation class in 1971. After I graduated architecture school in '79, I returned to visit Nancy, who was then working on a kibbutz. But it wasn't until the Second Intifada that my commitment to Zionism strengthened. By 2002, I'd become increasingly frustrated by how Israel was being portrayed in the media, often with falsehoods, double standards, or lack of context. Israelis were enduring a massive terror campaign with almost daily homicide bombings. There was the coordinated international campaign to delegitimize and demonize the Jewish state following the Durban Conference. At the same time, many American Jews had canceled their Israel travel plans, all of which angered me. So I called JUF's travel desk, who wasn't very busy. They weren't very busy, and I listed their help organizing a solidarity mission to Jerusalem with a few close friends. Some of them are in this room today. The visit impressed upon me how small efforts can have a major impact. Our group was thanked profusely by every Israeli we met, from our nearly empty hotel to members of the IDF to people on the street. It was an empowering experience. I returned to the US committed to changing how Jewish Americans view Israel. An audacious plan, for sure. I wrote an op-ed in the Chicago Jewish News describing our trip. I became active in camera and later Stand With Us, and began sending daily emails with news stories from a variety of sources to family and friends to better inform them. The subject matter included not only Israel, but also the Arab-Israeli conflict, anti-Semitism, BDS, campus politics, radical Islam, the UN, and U.S.-Israel relations. My distribution list has grown over the years to include readers around the world, including writers, academics, politicians, thought leaders, and organization directors, and pro-Israel advocates across the political spectrum. Earlier this year, I switched to a blog format called Architect Guy, which you can Google if you want to find it, where I post a half dozen articles daily, and each morning an email goes out that summarizes that day's blog content. Just one email. So don't fill your inbox. I blog in order to share different perspectives than you're probably seeing in your morning paper or on your network news or online. Media influences us in many ways, but most concerning to me is how it drives public opinion on Israel and the Mideast. Public opinion, in turn, impacts elections and then government policy. We're immersed in 24/7 messaging, not only through print, broadcast, and cable news, but also radio, internet, and pop culture. Ironically, for all this unprecedented volume of information, many in the Jewish community don't know or care to know much on this subject. I believe the stakes are highest with our youth, many of them in schools or on college campuses filled with anti-Israel and anti-Jewish rhetoric. These same schools that pride themselves on diversity of race, gender, and sexual orientation may show little diversity of thought when it comes to Israel. In this politically correct environment, we're seeing pro-Israel voices silenced. And those students courageous enough to support Israel in the classroom may be verbally attacked or see their grades impacted adversely. Or in the case of professors, it might result in their dismissal, as in the case of the late Professor Tom Klochak of DePaul. The Pew survey tells us that our Jewish youth is increasingly disconnected from Israel. Many don't even know the history of Israel and its struggles, nor 3,000 plus years connection to the land. Or they mistakenly think Jews are colonialists or occupiers, or that Israel is built on the ashes of the Holocaust. We need to do a better job educating our kids about their roots. Birthright alone will not solve this problem. It's my hope that Jewish organizations like BJE can work together to make students proud of their heritage and give them the tools for what they'll be facing. To be sure, some students' ambiguity or perhaps hostility on the subject mirrors their own parents' complicated relationship with the Jewish state. So this isn't happening, unfortunately, in a vacuum. Israel impacts American Jewry, whether they're aware of this or not, which is why I think it's so important that we all understand Israel's challenges. This theme of American Jewry's connection to Israel was well defined by Danny Gordis in a 2012 Tablet magazine essay, so I'd like to close by sharing a short excerpt. There was an era not long ago in which American Jews tiptoed around America, nervously striving to stay beneath the radar. But Jews today no longer think of themselves as tiptoeing people. When Soviet Jews awakened and wanted out of their national prison, American Jews supported them. And the state of Israel made their rescue a national mission. And American Jews were filled with unprecedented pride. When Ethiopian Jews were caught in the crosshairs of a deadly civil war, the state of Israel whisked them out, and American philanthropists continue to make them a key priority. There's one more example here. And when the Air France plane was hijacked with Jews aboard, that was the state of Israel that came to their rescue. Much of what fuels American Jewish pride is the existence and the behavior of the state of Israel. In ways we do not sufficiently recognize, Israel has changed the existential condition of Jews everywhere, even in America. Without the state of Israel, the self-confidence and self-belonging that American Jews now take for granted would quickly disappear. This then is one of the greatest ironies of our time. The sense of belonging and security that leads many American Jews to believe that they do not need the state of Israel is itself a product of that very same state of Israel. And in moving away from devotion to the Jewish state, occasionally even opposing or undermining it, they're actually weakening the very source of the confidence that makes their political activism possible. In other words, I think that Israel's future is your future. Let's work together to help strengthen and support Israel. We need each other. Thank you again for this honor and for the opportunity to speak with you today.